Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So I recently went out to go see Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, a movie that I was looking forward to for the last 5 years because I love Into the Spider-Verse. And Into the Spider-Verse was a film that nobody thought that this was ever going to work, especially with the character Miles Morales, because the casual movie-going audience don't really expect to see Miles Morales as Spider-Man, because when they think of Spider-Man, they think of Peter Parker. And especially myself, yeah, Miles Morales existed in comics for the past decade, but he wasn't really the most popular established character in comics. But I was willing to give this movie the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, sure, I was a little skeptical at times, but I was going to be very open-minded. And until the marketing came out for the trailers, that increased my excitement. And then Into the Spider-Verse came out and it blew everything out of the water. A movie that it won a lot of people over. Everybody fell in love with Miles Morales as a character, including myself. We fell in love with Spider-Gwen, and we fell in love with Peter B. Parker, who was one of the mentorship of Miles Morales, and the dynamic that they have, all three of them together, was incredible, especially with Spider-Man Noir. And then we got Spider-Pig, which who would have thought that would work for Spider-Pig to be in a Spider-Man movie. It was so well done, especially with the animation style that they had done. It was like coming straight out of comic book pages into the big screen, and it was something that was never been done before in a superhero movie, and it became my third favorite film of 2018. And this is the movie that won an Academy Award for Best Animated Feature Film, which was very well deserved in my opinion. I love that, and I'm so glad that it won. I mean, honestly, I thought that should have been nominated for Best Picture, but it didn't, because the Academy just doesn't want to nominate their animated movies in the Best Picture category. But it is what it is. It doesn't matter. Now going into Across the Spider-Verse, this is taking place sometime a year after the events of the first one, and this is where we see Miles Morales facing the ultimate challenge of what it really means to be Spider-Man once he comes across with the new Spidey characters from the team from across the multiverse, and he reunites with Gwen again and teams up with them. It was such an interesting plot that we've seen in the trailers, and it won me over. Once the trailers came out, it got me excited to see these characters again after 5 years. And after coming out of this movie, I will say this movie lives up to the hype. I loved it from beginning to end. I've never thought I'd be this more satisfied in this movie that I thought I would. It delivered a great story that was so complex, that it's not so convoluted, and it's not shoved so many plot holes in your face, and it's not to the point where you're just going to get lost and confused to what's going on in the movie. They definitely establish it very well, and it's very well explained. The animation style continues to improve. I love the way they done some different animation styles once we go across other worlds across the multiverse, and in every frame that you see in this movie, you just don't want to stop looking at it. And you also have to keep your eye out for any Easter eggs and references from across other Spider-Man media, whether it's animation, movies, or games. They're all there, and it's going to make a lot of the fans very happy for them who have seen like pretty much all of them. I mean, I haven't seen all of them, but there was a lot of Easter eggs that I spotted that was like, I just pointed out. I just did that whole Leonardo DiCaprio style from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Every second I spot some Easter eggs that I was familiar with. I just always did this every 5 seconds. And the jokes delivers. It never tries to shoehorn right in your face. And it wasn't, and the Easter eggs and the references and the fan service just wasn't there for the sake of it. It served the story. I thought the Miguel as Spider-Man 2099, voiced by Oscar Isaac, who was teased in the post-credit scene in Into the Spider-Verse, I thought his role was so good. He's such a complex character who is way more darker and way more serious. He's a guy who is all about doing whatever it takes to make sure that other world stays safe so it doesn't cause any catastrophic. And he's going to have to give Miles Morales the ultimatum to make a sacrifice in order to keep the other universes safe and not cause any ripple effect. And this was all revealed in the trailer, but when you see it in context of the film, it makes more sense. You see Miguel's side of the story and why he's right in this argument. I loved how well they've handled it, And like I said before, there's going to be a lot of surprises that you're going to be very happy with. I love these two new characters that we get introduced, these new Spidey characters that we come across. I thought they played so well in the story. Seeing Spider-Gwen again, it was incredible to see her in the film again. And also, she plays a bigger arc in this movie, because in this movie you get more context of her backstory in the sequel. Yeah, in the first movie, yeah, we get a little bit of the backstory in the montage, but in this one there's much more full context, and it was so emotionally impactful, and you get her motives of why she wants to join up with Miguel and the other Spidey team from across the Spider-Verse. And this is pretty much more of her movie just as much as Miles Morales' movie. It's both of their movie, basically. And I thought it was a very well done. I was a little bit worried that it might have pulled that bait and switch where it might be somebody else's film, but no, it wasn't. It didn't take away the focus with Miles' character. They still focus on him. And I love this relationship dynamic what he had with his parents, especially with his mother. There was a couple scenes that I just got choked up so much, especially the one scene that a lot of you guys saw in the teaser trailer of him having a conversation with his mom. I thought it was so well done. The performances were incredible. The action was amazing. The music score was great. I won't say that the soundtrack was as memorable as Into the Spider-Verse, because I thought that one was better, but it was still good for what it was. Overall, this is definitely my favorite movie of the year so far, and this is just not a great comic book movie. This is actually a great film. And I can't wait to see this multiple times in theaters. You gotta rush out and go see this in the theater. I mean, do you necessarily have to watch these other versions of iterations like Tom Holland or Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire to understand what's going on in the movie, even though that is part of the continuity from the multiverse? No, you don't have to. You could simply just watch Into the Spider-Verse and then jump onto Across the Spider-Verse, and you'll still enjoy it for what it was, and you'll enjoy the ride from beginning to end. You'll be very well entertained. This is definitely a worthy Spider-Man film, and it's definitely my third favorite Spider-Man movie so far. It really tops the first one. I thought it was brilliant. I'm still going to say that No Way Home is my favorite for different reasons. Maybe it's because it might be a little bit of a nostalgic that I have in me, because I love how they've handled the legacy characters that I grew up loving. And I thought it gave me everything I ever wanted. But this is definitely close to up being one of the best comic book movies of all time. Definitely rush out to see it. Do not sleep on it. We got a second banger comic book film next to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And next up, we already got the upcoming Flash movie coming out in a couple of weeks, which I'm so excited about seeing this, because a lot of people are raving about it, and I'm excited to see how the film is going to turn out. And also, just to let you know, you probably already know this already because it's already been posted online, that there are no post-credit scenes. There's just one credit scene, but there's no footage. By the time you get to the very end of the movie, the title is going to be called Miles Morales will return in Beyond the Spider-Verse. So Beyond the Spider-Verse is the main title of the third film. Now, in case you didn't know, that because at the end of the movie, it leaves you on a cliffhanger without spoiling anything. After I saw the movie at the end, when the movie ended, I was like, no, please don't end it. I want to see where this goes. But it ends on a cliffhanger, and I'm not a big fan of the cliffhangers when it comes to movies like this or shows, but these are one of the exceptions. And also, if you look back a few years ago, when Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who are the producers and the writers of the films, they announced that they were going to do two movies filmed back to back, and Across the Spider-Verse is literally a part one story. So they split it into two movies, and we recently just got a release date of when the third film comes out. So we are going to get it's going to come out in March 2024. So we're going to get a spring release date. And some of you are wondering, is this going to come out? Is this way too soon to have a third film? And I will say no, because I will tell you this right now. They've already made the third film already a while ago, because they did two movies back to back. I mean, kind of similar to what the other studios did, like the MCU's Infinity War and Endgame. Those two movies were filmed back to back, and especially with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 and 2. They've already filmed back to back of those two movies, and that's why these movies like this are going to come out 1 year apart. And I cannot wait. I'm glad that we know when this movie's going to come out, and you should definitely just go out and see Across the Spider-Verse while you can. You do not want to sleep on this. If you're wondering if you're getting superhero fatigued, I will say this. People say superhero fatigue a lot because there are people, oh, you're so tired of seeing superhero movies. That's not it. It's just because that we get fatigued because we've been seeing so many mediocre comic book movies coming out in recent years, and because they have not been delivering great quality. But movies like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Across the Spider-Verse, it's a living proof that you're not feeling superhero fatigued. We just have not been getting great comic book movies lately. But this is one of the living proof that we can still have great comic book movies and it can still continue to grow as we go along. And I can't wait for more. And I'm not so sure what's going to happen with the other 3 comic book movies that are going to be coming out later this year with Blue Beetle, Aquaman 2, and the Marvels. Those are 50-50 for me. It could turn out bad or it could turn out to be great. Who knows? We'll wait and see. Now, have you seen Across the Spider-Verse? What did you think of it? Did it live up to your expectations? Did you really love it? Or were you someone who was like, it wasn't for you, you were hoping for the best, but it did not work out as you were hoping for, and you were a little disappointed by it? And jump down in the comment section below and leave me your thoughts. I would love to hear. And subscribe to my YouTube channel for more movies to come, and turn on the bell notification so that you won't miss anything. I will be posting more videos on my YouTube channel. I know I have not been very active lately, but I've been doing my best to try to play catch up.